My name is Priscilla, and my parents own and operate the business AVI Services, which is mostly based on tax preparation. We also do bookkeeping and payroll for folks too as well. But I'm pretty much one of their tax consultants on site, and hopefully to help transition for my parents as far as for them to retire. A lot of our customers who's been us from like early 90s, I mean, remember me like being the receptionist, like being 10 years old and like, can you fill out this paper? So, they've watched me grow up basically over the years. We're totally ingrained. I was born and raised here, went to David Douglas High School. I only left town to really go down to Corvallis for college. Not only do we have this office, we have a couple of the rental houses that are in the neighborhood too as well. The next project is the 106th Division, which is right next to the Rumpus Room. So everyone is very familiar with that kind of dive bar with the LED light that's kind of there but it's not on. It was pretty much an abandoned building. I call it the shack. But that is everyone sees it as an eyesore in the neighborhood, which I know. I'm trying to get it much better situated. But yeah, so that has been an interesting project for me, I guess. I'm not a commercial developer. I have learned a lot of lingo and obstacles between cities, permits, and just how do you do all this, how do you build from scratch, and even trying to figure out funding. So it's been a huge learning curve, but managing, and I've been very grateful along the way. I've had a really good resources. Safety measures, they came out with a lot of letters out in the mail, but most of the letters that came out, and this is from me who, for me, English is, I just can skim through it. And I remember saying, oh, they're going to do this huge TriMet. TriMet probably pushed it more as far as advertising goes, saying that they're going to revamp the whole division. When I found that out, obviously, since I have, and I'm definitely a lot more trying to be on top of this information because of my project development on 106th Division. So when I found that out, I went to the open house that they held at PCC, and that's when I made my connections with Liz at PBOT. I met Radcliffe with Urban Development, and that's just kind of getting to figure out, will this affect my project? Because the plan for 106th Division was to do a drive-through, a coffee drive-through. So our lot is right here. Okay, and this is the gravel, folks. So we're planning to, what the plan right now is to demo, and then I was going to have a drive-through, so traffic would be coming through 106 and then turning into the drive-through. So I was wondering, oh gosh, I spent a lot of money trying to figure out that we could do it. Now with a project like that, does that mean I'm off the board? Like I can't do it anymore. So that was a really big concern. So as I was trying to figure out who's affecting who, and the hard part was trying to figure out what's happening, because you have TriMet doing their own project, then you have City of Portland doing their own project. So I learned after that fair going, whoa, there's two projects going on. It's just not one project, because they haven't had open house together. They're sharing a lot of advertising and outreaches, but you realize is that it's two beasts that you're looking at, not one. So I had to, and it was a long process, because TriMet told me I was not going to be a problem for them. I might be a problem for PBOT, and then after a while, PBOT said, oh, you're not going to be our problem. You might be a TriMet problem. And what I found out is the reason why everyone keeps kicking me back and forth, I'm pretty much almost close to done with my planning. And I've gotten a lot more checkpoints with the city as far as officially. But the city, PBOT and TriMet were still in their planning phase. So they're still sketching. And I'm already I'm past sketch. So, the hard part is that you go in and wonder, hey, if I'm the guy, I'm not part of the city, just because I put a permit in and I do all this stuff, doesn't mean that they have authority to just kind of wipe me out. We've been in this transition with this neighborhood for a long haul, and we'll still be here, and I'm pretty good with going with change, that's part of survival. You have to adapt. And I told Plaid out, I said, I don't agree with what the city's doing, but if you make it happen, I'm going to have to adapt to it. We all have to. And I would just wish that if they're making all these changes, like making these crosswalks and all that stuff, it would give people time to adapt, and get to it so that maybe we don't need to spend extra money. Before our meeting, I was on 205 getting back to the office, and I tried to go 30 miles per hour, like the speed limit says. I was the slow poke, and everyone was giving me dirty looks as they passed me. And one guy behind me was tailgating me because I was going 30 miles per hour. So how does it feel when I am trying to do the right thing and going 30 miles per hour and I am getting dirty looks and tailgated? So you're being kind of bullied and harassed on the street, right? So the question is so why did you implement a rule that no one's following, right? So what's the point then? If, let's say, for some odd reason my permit doesn't go through because of these plans, I mean, that's a lot of money put in. I went to early assessment. I did everything to get, a say on this before they even started the project. I would love to have a refund on that, but I doubt that's going to happen. I mean, if the business next door, the meat guys who, like I said, I watched them grow their business and they had hardship, and if they had to relocate, I mean, they should be paid for the relocation if they have to, if things aren't thriving for them. But it's really hard to kind of put a number to it, because the hard part is that, the city's going to say, well, if we paid you, then we wouldn't be able to deal with the whole tent city homelessness because you took our money. I mean, the whole point is we all pay taxes here, right? So what's going to happen? If they pay me back my refund, then they'll just hike up my taxes and I'll pay it back. So I think the hard part is when you hold people accountable for things, especially in politics. The only people held accountable is because they want to move to the next position. If someone says, I want to run for president next year, of course they're going to make sure it goes work in your favor so they can get your vote. But this is I think the hard part is holding someone accountable is so hard, because this is a monster project, right? And then they say, hey, this is it's not a state level, it's a federal money that we're trying to account for. How do you tell them, sure, spend it, don't spend it, right? I mean, I honestly, I would just this is the best thing to do. Take this and put it as education. Please do better the next time. Please do better to the next neighborhood. Please do better when there's another project. Because that's the only thing you can do, right? You can't turn back the time. You can't tell people undo the meridian. You can't do any of that. The only thing I would want people to take away from this is please learn from this. Please do better by your community. By whatever you may do in your next project. Maybe you're not the commissioner. Maybe you're just a board director guy. I don't care. Just learn from this and please move forward and just pay it forward for the next person.